We've been gifted this beautiful house.
We live here. Can you believe it?
Maeve wanted to keep the place in your family, Jamie.
We really appreciate the house.
Well, then you know. It's got a hole in the roof.
The Whelans, they'll do a good job. Jamie, Mayor, you just carry on with your day as if we weren't here.
There is one thing I need to show you, and it's a little bit peculiar. Every evening before sunset, she'd leave a blood offering here.
Sorry, did you say blood? For who?
For the Red Caps. No need feeding. We'll be hungry.
Can I get in my own house, please?
You own it, dear.
How many times have the English come to this country and told us what's ours is now theirs?
They need to know their place.
Tim! What did you leave out tonight?
Oh, shoot.
You can't miss a single day.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I can't be scared. Not in my own house.
Don't leave your missus alone with the lads.
No need feeding. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day.
We just came here for some peace.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Ready Speaker. I am your host, Roland Urucci, and you just watched the trailer for Unwelcome. It's a British, I don't know if I have to designate where it comes from, but it's a UK horror film. Very fairy tale-like. Let's go over some specs if we can here, real quick. I'm going to go bring up that page over here on IMDb. That's where I get all of my information, I guess. You should get your information from there as well. I think Facebook owns it, or Meta, whatever it is. Director is John Wright. Writers Mark Stay, John Wright. Stars Hannah John Kamen, Douglas Booth, and Cole Meany. And let's see some other people in here. Let's see, Cole Meany is from the Star Trek stuff. See him a lot. Christian Nairn as Owen. Whelan, that's actually somebody from the Game of Thrones. And I think Hannah John Cummins also as Maya has also been in the Game of Thrones. And who else is here? Let's see. I think, Jamie Lee O'Donnell from Dairy Girls. That's, she's popped a little bit since that show. So it's nice seeing this kind of film. I didn't know what to expect. There were moments of cautiousness about it. Just a summary is that this couple, Maya and Jamie, finally conceive, and he goes out to get a bottle of alcohol-free champagne to celebrate that they're going to have a baby, and he gets approached by these three hooligans or thugs. I don't know, I guess hooligans only for soccer, but thugs in the street. He tells them to F off. They come back. There's an altercation in the apartment. Everybody almost dies, I guess, who gets hurt really, really bad. And they decide to go back to Ireland, where he has an aunt who died and has left him the house to keep it in the family. The odd thing about the house is it's sort of cursed. So the story is that Maeve, the aunt, made a deal with the Red Caps, which is sort of like an evil elf in Ireland and I think Scotland, maybe northern areas of England. Not quite sure. I read about him a long time ago. I had a book on mythology, which I lost, but I found very interesting. So I knew something of the Red Caps, and it's very similar to like the jinns in Islam and everything else, where you can ask for a favor, but there's always a price on the other end. There's never really an honest favor. It's like they'll help you out. And supposedly the aunt asked for a favor to help her husband, and their child vanished, and the husband died. But she kept having to do a meat offering every night to keep them satisfied. and a blood offering, and they tell Maya that she has to keep doing this as they renovate this house out in the country in Ireland. They feel safe, they feel at home. There's some nice people. Everybody's like giving them stuff for free, and it's a very unusual vibe. Visually, it's really a striking film. It looks very fairy tale like. I just love to know how they shot it. Quite honestly, if I was on those sets, if it was green screen, if it was some sort of soundstage, but if the physical effects seem practical, and they're playing with size manipulation, not CGI, at least. It doesn't seem like that. There's one shot in the third act where you kind of see where it just doesn't align right, but every other shot is, I'll say, is pretty flawless. And it's kind of funny. So it's the kind of horror film you can really enjoy. It's an hour, I think, and 43 minutes. I think that's what it is. It's not that long. Hour and 44. It's not that long. It's a good watch if you're into these types of films. I think it moves pretty well. I think it's a real fable. Most of the characters are two-dimensional. You saw them in the trailer where they're sort of happy, not happy, sort of creepy, not creepy. So there's a lot of two dimensions. You don't really know anything about them. You don't go into their backstory. It's, like I said, it's very much like a story where there's introducing these characters in a setting. For good or bad, we decide, or they decide, what decisions they're going to make, and we're the ones judging them from the outside in and where they're going to sort of land. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was an easy watch. I thought the time flew really well. Again, I think the cinematography is really good. Some of the practical effects really interesting. You'll see some of the shots. They have this beautiful background behind them, or lush hills, and the sun coming in through the door, and all these great things. So it's very theatrical in that sense. I know I use that word a lot. Maybe I should find a new word. But it is in that way where the bodies sort of cross each other, and you feel the tension right away. The pacing's really good. The pacing is really good. I know it's a 2022 movie, and it's out there. You can rent it. It's streaming. I don't know if anybody's really talked about it. I'm sure now the algorithms will pop up on my computer and it'll show me all the reviews. Once you look for something once, then everything pops up. But it's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. I know I don't really speak like that energetically about it right now, but thinking about the moments, thinking about the pacing, thinking about where they go, and even the development of the characters, the main characters, Maya and Jamie, of where they want to be. And it's really like, it's a powerful thing. It's actually a powerful story about women and their strength. So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway for me, is a fairy tale. And a lot of fairy tales do deal with that. They deal with, I'm not going to spoil anything, but at the end, it's almost a Snow White sort of setup. So I'm not going to say, but visually to me, it was like, this is Snow White. If things went a little wonky. And that's sort of, I know the dwarves and the red caps are something different, but all the dwarves had caps, so I don't know if that's a thing, but they're kind of evil here, and they kind of laugh at misery, and it's an interesting film. I'd probably watch it again. I thought there was going to be some sort of assaults in it that made me uncomfortable in films, but I think they got around that, and the stress, the anxiety that they induce by making you think it's going to go that way is kind of interesting. And I think that's part of the filmmaking, the storytelling. I love the peripheral characters. They're real characters. They have these great faces. They're able to deliver these lines in a beautiful way. And I think it's just a really good film. I recommend you watch it. Give it a chance. It's streaming. It'll probably be free in a couple of months. But if you want to plop down a few dollars like I did and just support films, that'd be a great thing. And if you can rent it. And I think you'll really enjoy it. If you want to comment on it, revisit it, hey, send me a message. Subscribe to the channel if you can. Watch my other reviews if you can. I have tons of them. And I keep trying to do them twice a week if I can. Sometimes things get in the way, but I'm really trying to push for twice a week where I'm doing a solid review on something, and be it a web series, podcast, or anything. And then the film seems to be where I'm going with. But this is definitely one of the films I would watch. It's a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, which I think is a little low. I think for a horror film of this caliber, I think it's better storytelling than most horror films that try to be horror films. It doesn't need to shock me. It's telling a story. It's telling a fable. It's telling a character arc that matters to me. And I don't need to know a lot of backstory, which horror stories never really do. They're in the moment, but I have just enough to know why I don't like somebody, why they deserve what they got, and I know why somebody deserved the win. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. So again, subscribe, like. This is Roland DeRucci with Ready Speaker. Until next time, have a good night. All the best.